Hi, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, and welcome to my channel. I am going to be presenting to you now a person that's been in my life for, I believe we're hitting 38, maybe 39 years. I don't know. At a certain point, you don't want to even think about that anymore. But we have stood the test of time, and we've obviously gone through many things, but we've never stopped being friends at any point throughout this time. He can speak to that. Uh, we've had our differences, but our friendship has never completely ended at any point. Would you say that's accurate? And thank you and welcome. Thank you for coming.
I would say that's exactly what it is.
Okay. Cool. So we met, I believe it was shortly before I turned 21 years old. And do you want to just thumbnail sketch how we met?
Yeah, I believe we met at a restaurant, and you were with some friends, and I was with some friends, and we had a nice time. And I called you later, and we became very good friends, and have been ever since.
Yeah.
That was in the early or mid '80s.
Yeah, early.
Long time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. And at that time, do you recall where I was living?
Yes, you were living downtown with your father,
That's right. And
who I remained friends with as well until he passed away several years ago.
yeah, and I don't know how many holidays you spent with, or Thanksgivings with my mother and father. I know at least one.
At
So
least.
yeah,
Probably more.
I think it would have to be more.
I used
So
to get such a kick. I used to get such a kick out of your dad. He was just one of the funniest people ever.
I know, wasn't he? And a massive pain in the butt too.
Yes, a real individual.
A real. Well, I say he was eccentric, but I don't know if that's even the right word for him. I think he just,
Sure.
he danced to his own drummer. He was a very unique guy.
He was an individual.
Mm-hmm. All right. So you met the family, even though, but around the time, no, my brother moved away. I don't want to give identifying information. I don't know how many years before my father got sick. So in the 90s, he moved away, and he mostly didn't come back. So tell me a little bit about just how you have experienced me at that time. Obviously, I was very, very young. Um, I believe you are aware of what I may have been struggling with at the time, that led to me getting sober, going to 12 step. But in your experience, even in light of knowing that uh, apparently I had a problem, did you ever witness anything that looked like I had a problem?
No, I was very um, aware of what was going on, and I think I made a point of not ever indulging with you on any of that. I kept it clean. We were friends, and we kept it we kept it real clean. I was concerned, that not to not to go into those places with you.
Right. I think we
It's
only
just
did one time, which I think was our first date, and it was at the Music Center in downtown, Dorothy Chandler Pavilion, down there. I think you had some blow, and I may have had a little tootski, but I don't believe I couldn't drink because it was my dad.
yeah, it's possible.
Yeah. But that's it. That was
Right.
the only time. The only one time did you and I ever do that.
Yeah,
So
we kept it real clean.
well, because you knew you saw me after I had done an all night trip, and I came to spend the night at your house, and I don't know if it was the morning already, and I was in complete and total devastation. And so you saw what it looked like when I had relapsed, and that how it decimated me. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, I think that sort of defined our friendship. That I didn't want to be a bad influence, and I didn't want to, be part of that. Well, that's not really wasn't ever really my thing anyway. And so I just sort of kept it easy and clean and friendly with you.
Right, but also we were intimately involved at some point.
Well, yeah.
Because you're just saying we were friends. I've stated that we were in a relationship for a little over 2 years in the beginning.
Well, so. Yes, but it went way beyond that. Even when we were done doing that, we remained friends all these years.
I know.
And it's always been like that. It's never like, hey, do you want to go get a drink? Or hey, I've got some blow. It was never. It's just, I don't know. That just was not part of who we were,
right,
as a couple or as friends.
Right.
Ever.
Exactly. So, in your experience, would you say that for the better part of the entire time you've known me, I was clean and sober, except for 2 relapses? You may not remember the numbers, but there were 2 occasions, which I'll share it with you because you may not know this. And this is, don't take it like I'm being upset with you. I'm just saying, you were clear because when I met you, you were older than I, and you said that you did not want to have a serious involvement. But I was so young and immature that I thought, oh yeah, but once he's with me, that'll change. But what happened was, I found out that, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot here, so don't take it that way. That you did meet another woman, and you went out with her a little bit. Never went. It was nothing, no big deal. But when I found out about it, I drank over it. Did you know that? You may not have known that. Okay. And so there's only been 2 relapses in the time you've known me. One was 2 months long, the first one, and one was about 3 months, which was the second one when I came back from Europe. Now, the first one, it was like within a week, I went from 1 beer, 2 beers, a couple of glasses of wine, a half bottle of wine, get me the Coke dealer, right? That's how fast it moves in that direction. So I bottom out really fast. I don't have the luxury of using drugs or drinking. It's over for me. But of course, if you don't take care of these things, there's a likelihood one can return. And because I was in a lot of emotional and physical pain in 1992, when I went to Europe, I relapsed in Europe. Were you aware of that?
I don't think so. I mean, I knew you had relapsed, and I remember, touching base with you periodically, which was, always our the foundation of our friendship. After that, was we would never let too much time go by.
Right.
And I even remember when you said, "Well, I have this many years," and then it went back to 0.
Right.
And so I mean, I know what that means.
Did you come? I think you came to visit.
Made sure not to get in the way of any of that for you.
Right. You never did.
And I never did.
No, you never did. But hold on one quick second. I have to plug the computer. So at the time, do you recall? Okay, so going back, so since you and I have met, would you say overall you've experienced me as someone that's had to work the entire time we've known each other?
Yeah, of course,
yes. Okay. And then I was, do you remember where I was working at the time when I relapsed and then I went to rehab?
Not exactly, not specifically.
Okay, well, it was United Talent Agency.
Well, yeah, okay.
You remember that?
Yes, that I remember. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, is it true, as far as you know, that most of the jobs I've held in the time you've known me has have been in the entertainment business, and mostly working as a high level executive assistant for executives at rather large corporations or companies, and
Yes, I remember the trial. I remember the talent agency and several jobs of that nature.
right,
I was felt a little, you know, I was, you know, I I always thought that that would end up, sustaining you
right,
and making a good living and traveling in those circles and all that. I felt that was good for you and it
yeah.
would be fun.
And I did. I mean, I don't know if you recall, but it's just for the. And I'm not leading, but because I know you don't remember everything, was that um, you also would have known when well, you I don't know if you remember, but my sister and I went to Europe for 3.5 months or something in 88, 89, that range. Do you remember that?
I remember you going to Europe. I don't remember what the circumstances were.
Okay. Um, but anyway, I was sober at that time. I did not drink the entire time I was in Europe. It was
Right.
later on because when I went back to Europe in 1992, and I would say you didn't witness any of the ramifications of the relapse. I don't think you saw what kind of deterioration was really happening there, or if you'd even remember. But
Yeah, we may not have had too much FaceTime
I think you came to
during.
visit me in rehab, though.
dur-
I'm pretty sure you did.
Yeah, but I don't recall exactly the degree to which it created any kind of um, destruction for you.
Right.
I think I think you kept that quiet.
Yeah, and also because I was a periodic, which I could only use or drink once a week anyway. It would make me sick, so I couldn't go. I went very far down. I mean, far down enough for myself, but because I was not even capable of, I'm so highly allergic to drugs and alcohol like that. That I couldn't do it. Would just make me sick. So anyway, so cut to then, we meet, and actually I was with my sister and you were with your friend whose name will remain nameless. And we met at the Hard Rock Cafe, and I think it's considered
Yeah,
West Hollywood and the Beverly Center, the bottom of the Beverly Center.
I remember
And
it well.
was I living on Sycamore at that time? Off, remember when off of Melrose and La Brea?
I don't think you were at that apartment yet
Yeah,
at that time.
right.
I think
So
that was still a little ways off.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So
I remember when you were living at that apartment. Isn't that when I got you that bicycle?
yes, which
Remember about that bicycle for you?
I know that bicycle was amazing. The problem with the bike, it was so heavy because I was having the neck
It was.
problems.
It was heavy. That thing
Yeah.
was a monster.
But I used to ride that bike all the way from, Wilshire, Beverly Glen, all the way to the beach, down, down, what's that road? San Vicente Boulevard.
Mm.
Yeah, I used to, and there were times that we would ride all the way to like Manhattan Beach too. I was riding a lot back then. But that bike was really, it was wonderful, but it was really
It
heavy.
was a monster. It was indestructible. It was. You couldn't
Yeah,
hurt it.
I
There
wish
was nothing.
I kind of wish I still had it, but I wouldn't have been able to use it because it's so heavy. There's no way I could
Right.
use it. Okay, so let's move on. So we've had a lot of experiences hanging out with specifically one of your friends. We'll keep the names out of it. That had a young daughter and one
My
on,
goddaughter.
yeah, your goddaughter, and one on the way at the time, I think, or no,
My other goddaughter.
yes, but I don't maybe. Actually, I don't know. I think maybe she got pregnant with her shortly after, or was she? It's not really important. Or was she actually pregnant?
Yeah, it's hard to.
It's hard to remember. But anyway, so you have spent time with me in the company of minors. What would you? What
She
is?
still asks. She still asks me about you.
All right.
We
And
talked about you just a couple days ago.
and do you? Well, we just reminisced about it, but did you remember that's the story of when we went there and what she had said about?
Yes, of course.
Oh my
She loved
God,
you
it's
very
my
much.
favorite woman.
She loved you very much.
She's a wonderful young woman. Although,
You were like her auntie.
yeah. And then I remember holding her sister. We were on the beach, and when the baby was only, I mean, little baby, and we were on the beach, and I remember um, just looking at that kid and saying, "This kid is a very smart. She's so smart. You could tell she just knew things.
She's so cute. Oh my God, she still is.
Well, they're both gorgeous.
Yeah. And they both have kids now, and they both have wonderful husbands, and yeah, I'm so happy and proud of them.
Yeah. So we spent time with, I don't know, I can't really think of other children. I mean, when we went to Truckee, did your friends in Truckee have children? I don't think so.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sure, absolutely.
Their children were already born at that time?
I believe so.
That's a big blanker for me. But anyway, so your understanding is just that nobody ever had questions about leaving children in my care. Would that be your assessment?
Oh yeah. Oh God.
And then, do you remember after my dad died that I was a nanny for a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old?
I do. I do, and you know my nephews remember you as well.
Right. Yeah, that's right. So when we didn't spend a lot of time there, but when we first met, I think they were 2, 3.
My nephews were born in 1980 and 1983.
Right.
So they were young kids and infants when we first met.
Matt. Well, we don't want to say names. Don't say names. Don't say names. Okay. So one of the funniest times was because I don't know if you remember, but children love me. They think I'm a kid.
Yes, of course.
They're just like, they go crazy for some reason. I don't know why.
That's why I brought up my 2 nephews, because they were, well, let's say if we met at 83 or 84 or something like that, then the older one would have been 4 years old, or 3 or 4 years old, and the younger one would have been, 1 or 2.
He had to be old. He had to be old enough to climb up on the bed and jump on me, because
we used to go over there all the time.
I remember one time when those 2 guys, they literally, tackled me like a football play, which is funny because one of them ended up being kind of a major type a deal in football, but we won't say where and how. Major dude, major football. That is whatever I think about, because he was the one. He jumped on my back.
The little one, even as an infant,
wasn't he? Oh my gosh! Oh, yeah. I mean, I adore those guys. I would love to see them, and I know that they have children now. That it's just.
They do. They both have kids now too.
It's amazing. Hey, can you send me some pictures so I can see what they look like? Because I didn't know Matt.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
I mean, yes, okay. I will absolutely.
All right, good. So let's continue on. So there was never any. I mean, it's just something I can't even talk about because it's so foreign. But the reason why I'm bringing that up is because people are accusing me of being a groomer and a pedophile. How much time do you see me lurking around where children are? How many times do I send you pictures of me with children?
I think I see where you're going with this, and that's just absurd.
Thank you. So so you have that. So we've gone throughout the years, and I think you observed that my main focus was really about staying clean and sober. Would you say that's correct?
Yes.
Right.
your quest for justice, your like those two things define you. Your interest in remaining clean, and you're fighting for justice all the time.
Yeah.
Those are your defining characteristics.
Thank you. Did you ever feel that you couldn't trust me or that I was dishonest with you?
Of course not. No. Okay.
So obviously, I've spent time with all of your friends. Your friends know me.
My family, my mother,
Yeah.
my brother, my nephews.
Yeah, and all the other dudes that you know mostly because you have long-term friendships with people that you went to elementary school with, which is really cool, and or high school. So I think I'm gonna get to okay. So then the next thing is what have you what have you noticed in terms of um, have I been a person moving from place to place to place to place to place to place? How did I take care of where I lived? How have I taken care of my animals? How do you view me as a person with animals? Do you know my history of rescue? Could you touch upon any things like any of that?
Yeah, all of the above, all of that. Yes, especially your interest in and animal rights and saving, and especially the rescue stuff, the boots on the ground stuff.
Right.
I mean, I've seen you with, like scratches and all this on your arms from rescuing feral cats and all that. I remember when you took a bunch of them in, and it was very hard work taking care of them. And I remember I even kept telling you, hey, these cats are lost causes. Why are you doing this to yourself?
Right.
But,
But I don't stop, right? I was just always.
Yeah, more than once you asked me if I would adopt one or more of them.
Right.
I never did, but I know you kept asking me to do that.
I know, but you always wanted to take the ones that I didn't want to let go. Tyler and Kiki, mostly Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler, I
He was your fave.
If I knew if I thought it wouldn't affect my karma, I would have taken Tyler from you. He was my boy.
I know. He loved you when you would come to visit. I mean, these cats, though, you have to say were quite exceptional. The ones I've had, their personalities. So you had great ones too.
Well, I remember you kept two sisters that you have rescued.
Right. That's who I have to this day. The rescue from, I think it's 13 years now. So
that just shows that the compassion is one of your guiding principles. The way you treat people the same way. I was always a little envious of your ability to do that.
And so that also kind of ties into did you experience me as a person that was unkind, abusive of people, fighting with people constantly? Did you notice anything like that?
No, never.
Okay.
I was a little sad for you when I saw the relationship with your sister go south.
Great.
It appeared like there was really nothing you could do about that.
Okay, I'm so glad you brought that up. So talk about your perceptions of my sister from the beginning and how she behaved towards me specifically.
Well, I met your sister not long after I met you, from being around your family and all that, and it didn't take long to see that she was antagonistic towards you. Mm-hmm. And I always thought it was just that she was jealous of you. But you can't ever tell about what's going on in someone's head. But yeah, and just over the years, it just started getting worse and worse. And I didn't like the way she kind of bounced around in life. And I thought that was never going to work out for her. And I think she was just angry with you for, like, I don't know, maybe because you were together and she wasn't. So I'm sure it was much deeper than that.
So do you view me as a person, even at that young age, even with the problems, that was fairly together and working to have a life where being responsible and things such as that?
Yes, of course, definitely.
And so, I don't know if you remember this, but
I kept trying to get you to come over and help me clean up my own personal messes over here. And, you know.
Wait, you kept trying to get me to do what?
To come to my place and clean up my life, but
to organize, you mean?
Yeah, organize and just straighten stuff out. And, you know, I was never good at that. You were good at that. I was never good at that.
Was my home dirty and not clean, and did I live like a hoarder?
Not at all.
No.
With as many cats as you had, that was a miracle.
Yeah, but I had a bunch of them for just a short period of time because that one rescue, and then my mom died, and I had her cat, and then I had,
I remember that.
It was a lot. But I tried to find them homes, couldn't find them homes, and the reason why they ended up with me, I don't know if you remember this, is because Cleo was such a scaredy cat, hiding all the time, and the only quality of life she had was when she was with her sister. So I felt they really needed to stay together, and I couldn't find anyone, and that's why I ended up keeping them myself.
Right.
Because I won't just adopt out animals without doing I don't know if you remember this, but I used to work with a girl, Patty. We used to do a lot of different rescue stuff, and we would we would go to people's homes and do house checks and make sure that their screens were secure and that the cats could not get out, and all. We were really hardcore about who we would adopt to. So that's and obviously, you know, I've been an activist. Would you agree? I've been doing activism mostly for the environment and animals. Mostly has been my focus.
Yes, but people too.
Thank you. Yes, and people too.
I mean, people are people too, right?
Yeah. Don't forget about the peoples. Yeah, lots of peoples. You know, lots of you've been to birthday dinners with me. You've met big groups of people that were either sober people or people I was sponsoring.
I gave you a cake one year.
Only one?
At least one.
Yeah, but did you also know me to be working with people, newcomers, and trying to help people to stay sober?
Yes,
as well?
Of course.
Okay. And my sister,
you were extraordinarily compassionate and patient with these people. You know, addicts are, they're hard to deal with sometimes, and I was amazed. That you stayed on it and dedicated your energy to helping these people. It's a very important and great thing. And so everybody should be doing
that. There's been I'm going to tell you a statement that was made by one of these people online, and I just would like to get your reaction. Has been, never was, never been loved, never will be loved. That's what I was described as.
By somebody who doesn't even know you?
Mm-hmm.
Clearly doesn't know you. That's ridiculous. I think they're just trying to get your goat.
Right.
That's absurd.
Did you ever witness me do anything that you would deem as evil?
Like what?
I don't know. Because this other person, lovely
I mean,
gentleman.
evil is such a stupid word.
No, but this is what he said. Your life is the culmination of all your bad deeds, and the devil's gonna come and get you and drag you all the way to hell. That's what someone said about me. What would you be your reaction to that?
I think that person already is in hell and just wants you to be as miserable as they are.
Right.
That's why people do that, because they're unhappy. And I had a boss like that, but he was the most unhappy person I had ever met. And he spent way too much time and energy trying to make the people around him as unhappy as he was, because he thought it wasn't fair that people should be happy and smile and have friends and be, and have a fun life, because he was so unhappy. And I realized that in the world of narcissism and other, mental disorders, that people, and I feel bad for people who are unhappy and have issues, but they often just want the people around them, their targets, to be as unhappy as they are. Like, life isn't fair, that some people might be happier than they are. That's how I looked at this boss I had, who I was with for 3 years, and he tried like hell to get me to react to his BS. He would berate me right to my face every day, several times a day. The spit flying on my face and all of that. And I would just stand there and wait till it's over. And it just made him more angry that he couldn't get me to react.
Yep.
And I saw him do it with other people too, and I realized that this was his deal. He just wanted the people around him to be as unhappy as he is.
Yeah, people can be doing that and not really be conscious of it sometimes.
No, they're not. Yeah, often they're not conscious of it. They're driven to make other people unhappy because of their own deficiencies and their own unhappiness. And they took all that energy and put it towards taking that good long look in the mirror, figure out what they can do to become happy.
Right.
People ask, because I'm a Buddhist, people ask me about Buddhism and they're expecting some big, fancy answer. And really, the answer to, so what's the deal with Buddhism, is to become happy and to help other people to become happy.
That's a great...
And they're disappointed when they get that answer because they think it's too simple. Well, becoming happy is not that simple. But the answer is to become happy. And and as you self-reflect and take that good long look in the mirror at yourself and at your life, you can start to see solutions to your unhappiness. You can start to see strategies that you can take to become happy. And you can start seeing the things to stop doing. And one of them is that compulsion to make other people unhappy.
Yeah, well, misery loves company, and hurt people.
Absolutely.
Hurt people. But then you have another type of thing, which is people on drugs like methamphetamine that literally turn them into demon people, and they do really evil.
Yeah, so it changes your whole structure and the rules that you live by.
Yeah, and so you're in your experience. You've seen me helping a lot of people. You've seen me doing the activism. saving animals. I don't know.
Those are all the reasons that we're still friends. If you were, you don't have to do those things to be my friend. But if you were actively working against that, that idea and doing things to, move in the opposite direction of that, I could not remain anyone's friend who was doing that.
Right. Exactly. So, so your experience over the last several years, you've seen me. You've seen several situations where perhaps the men I trusted betrayed me and screwed me over. Have you ever known me to be vindictive or stalk somebody?
No, I felt like there was one case where it would have been totally justified, but no, you didn't do it.
Oh, with the one with the guy that tried to steal all my mother's money?
Yeah, that guy. I think you could have justified just about anything that that anybody would end up wanting to do to him.
Right. Did I ever tell you that one guy offered, tell me his name, I'll take care of him? I said no. And another person,
No, I never heard that one.
yeah, somebody else said, let me go break his fucking kneecaps. I go, no.
Oh, God,
no.
I wanted to do that myself, but that would not have been my style.
Exactly. So that was a really very evil situation to which I've not made him pay anything, have I? He took $45,000 that was not his. He duped me, right? And my mother was dying.
Well, I think you saw some justice on that. Certainly not full restitution.
Yeah.
But I think you got a little bit of satisfaction and justice out of that.
So what I think you know to be true is that both of my parents suffered with illness in the end of their lives that required a tremendous amount of money to take care of them. I couldn't work and take care of either one of them the way we had to run 12-hour shifts.
I have a good friend who you know very well, who lives right across the street now from your mom's last apartment.
Yeah.
On that street that you remember so well.
Yeah.
Directly, like you walk out of the front of his building, and there's your mom.
Is it the red brick building across the street?
The last one, yeah. The last one she lived in.
No, I'm not talking about my mom's house. I'm talking about where he's living. It's directly across the street, but don't worry.
I don't remember his place as being red brick, but I think it was stucco. But it was directly across the street. One of the, three.
Right, exactly.
The one directly across, and then one on the left and one on the right.
Right, yeah. So, did you feel that I showed up and really went the distance to take care of my father to begin with? Did you say that's true?
Yes, above and beyond.
And then, of course, we know my mother.
Well, yeah, your mom was just, that whole ordeal was extraordinary. And I know you pretty much shut everything down so you could take care of her. With a lot of respect for that.
So I sacrificed my life for those years for my mother because no one else would show up.
Yeah, clearly. And which left you in a bit of a state, which is why that guy was able to take advantage of you. I felt horrible about that.
Yeah. Well, I was having a nervous breakdown at that time too because my siblings were.
And he made you some just absurd promises that. Well, it's just. So angry.
Plus the fact that my dad had put him in business and that he had screwed me this way, it was.
That's
mind-boggling.
Yeah, he knew your whole family from before.
Elementary school. Knew him since I was 11.
Okay, right.
Yeah. I mean, that's God. You don't see that coming. But anyway, I also was not in my right mind because the levels of stress, of rescuing an animal, trying to take care of my mother, and on and on and on. So then,
without any participation in a positive manner from your sister.
exactly. Now, I was accused of squandering my mother's money. Would you view that I squandered the money, or were there other factors involved, like paying for 24/7 care, like for my mother, and that a condo that was worth $650,000 in 2007 that they bought for I think 300 in the 80s, uh, it lost all of its value. All the equity was gone in 2008. So we already had lost a lot. Uh, my mother was existing on $100 a month for food because she couldn't afford her property taxes. It wasn't telling anybody. Another case of a person that worked hard their whole life, and when they went to retire, they could not afford to live on what was given. It's the same story I'm experiencing now, and so many others. So, um,
Yeah, I remember I was a bit of a mess back then. It was horrible.
so the fact that this guy,
I just remember your sister was such a negative influence on the whole thing.
oh my God,
It was awful. Together, you could have, put your energies together with her and your brother, and made it better for everyone. But it just wasn't going to happen.
right? And were you aware? Because what I've said for years, I don't know if you remember this, because obviously our memory is not so good at this point. But I was always praying for a healing with my brother and sister.
Yes, even up to a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Even I was telling you, you gotta don't even acknowledge her. You kept, trying to make it happen.
That's right.
I respect that. But what a amazing effort that was. She was, or still is, I'm sure, a real piece of work.
Yeah, hold on one second. I have to do something real quick. Yeah, and my position on her, I think, would you say that even though I don't hold out much hope at this point, that I still worry about her well-being? Would you? Do you know? Say that again.
I said you talked about that a few days ago.
What was I saying?
Or a couple weeks ago. You were saying about your sister, and I'm like, no, stop, don't.
Did I say if she became homeless again, which I think she's on the verge of again, how would I handle it? Because I can't let her go to live in the car.
Yeah, I remember that's what we talked about.
Right. So even they're saying I'm a horrible person. That's why these people have nothing to do with me. But the truth of the matter is, they are very broken, damaged people, and their damage comes out as ugliness and hostility towards me, certainly. Whereas I have always tried to heal those relationships.
That I would say that is accurate, totally accurate.
So, but the last time I saw my brother, he was when my mother was still alive, and I don't know if you remember the story, but he started screaming at me in her house because while I was preparing her breakfast, I asked her, "Would you like a coffee and a little cookie while I'm preparing your food?" And she said, "Oh, that sounds nice. That sounds nice." And we had already discussed that from that point going forward, and that was a couple weeks before this, there would be no forcing her to eat anything she didn't want, that she could have whatever she wanted, because the reality was she was not long for the world. So I thought that we had made some good strides, and he was in town. He came into town, and then he started. I came in. The cookie. I gave her the cookie and the coffee as I'm preparing the food. He was supposed to do that morning, but he was in bed. He didn't get up to help her. She needed to be, uh, sat up in the bed. Perhaps he would never deal with the diaper issue. He I believe only came into town because he thought her death was imminent and wanted to get his hands on the house. But he comes in. I'm in the kitchen, and he comes in with the coffee and the cookie and slams it on the counter why the fuck are you giving her this? And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? I thought we already discussed this, that we're going to let her have whatever makes her happy because her time is not long here.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter.
And he just was going off on me. And he comes into the bedroom right in front of her, is yelling at me, and is literally in my face. And you know, my brother's about 6'3", 6'4", right? I don't know if you remember that. He's a big, pretty tall guy.
Yeah, he's a big kid.
And I said to him, you need to stop right now. And he said, well, yeah, what are you going to do about it? And I said, I'm going to call the police. But short of that, do you know me to be a person constantly calling the cops or having the cops come to where I live?
No.
Do you know me as a person that if I'm on the list of the police, that I am so fucking crazy that they constantly are getting calls about me?
No. Who would call them about you?
Nobody ever did until this situation with these people online. No, it never happened. They're saying, oh, she's had all these calls to her house and 918s, which means she's mentally ill. I said, I'm having a mental health crisis. Leave me alone. And I told the police I am having a mental health crisis from becoming
What's
disabled.
918?
918 means you're mentally ill. I mean, would you describe me as
the
mentally ill?
The people saying those things about you are projecting.
Yes.
These people are clearly angry and unhappy.
Yeah.
There's no other reason to go and do that type of thing to somebody that they don't even know. It's unhinged. It's irrational.
I know. And I've said,
Why would they say that? Why would they say that about you?
because they're trying to discredit me, and they want to have me involuntarily committed by the police, which I have the screenshot of these two people terrorizing me.
Why?
Because they want to silence me. That's why. Because they've all been attacking me, and I have all the evidence that if I could get a lawyer, they'd be in a lot of fucking trouble. So anyway, let's move on.
They're just unhappy. Their lives are fucked up, and they just project that on. They put targets on people, and they just. I don't get it.
It's lunacy. But okay, so then the other thing is they're saying that I have been arrested for methamphetamine. Have you ever known me to use methamphetamine?
No.
Was methamphetamine my thing?
No.
What was my thing? Would you say my issues? What I did mostly?
Alcohol.
Right. And the cocaine was just so one wouldn't fall down flat on their face drunk. You know, cocaine makes it so you can drink more and not be falling. Do you know my story about I come out of La Dome? I'm 18. This is before you knew me.
Yeah.
I come out because what I used to do, I'd hang out at La Dome, and
which we used to call La Dump.
La Dump? I never heard that. It wasn't a dump. Come on, that was the place to hang out.
Yeah, that was a place where you could do coke right on the table.
I know. There was always coke there, so it was perfect.
Always.
I liked it. So I had this old dude. I don't know if you know about the old pervert that would ply young girls with cocaine. But anyway, I met him when I was.
Do you remember his name?
Tony.
Oh, because I knew another guy like that back in the day.
There's no shortage on that in LA
no shortage.
But anyway, so what would happen was do you remember? No, that was before you. Her name was Samara, Gail Fisher's daughter. I don't know if you remember Gail Fisher from Manic. She was a really close friend of mine. We used to get loaded together. So what's the point of the story? So yeah, so she introduced me to that guy, and so after like just a couple times of going, he's like, "Well, if you're gonna come here, we get into some stuff, and that's what we're gonna do. If you're gonna be here, that's what we do." Basically, he's saying they're having orgies. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. So he's like, okay, because he really liked me. And I hella cute or not? I mean, you've seen me recently. I don't think I'm aging too terribly. You can comment on that later, um, but you were with me when I had my second set of headshots for modeling, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
So, but anyway, so he would say, okay, well, what we can do is this: you go do your hangout, because and this would only happen really once a week on a Friday night. Go hang out where you go, whatever, and then around 1 a.m., give me a call, and we should be done by then, and then you can come over. So one time I'm there, and I come out of Ladump. Now, do you remember where the valet was? The incline on the hill, how it goes down in that parking lot.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So
remember it well. It's still there.
I know. And the car. So he pulls the car right up, and it's the driveway that's a very severe incline. So when you come down, if you're wearing high heels like I was and shit faced, there's a high likelihood you're going to fall, which I did. I fell almost face planted right by my car, and the guy goes, "Have a nice night, lady." He gave me my keys. This is right before all the Mothers Against Drunk Driving shit went down.
Yeah.
So before then, people were over serving, and then they started cracking down. But anyway, that is how, if I was drinking, that's what would possibly happen. So that's why I like using cocaine. It just helped me to just be able to keep going. So that's it. But I bottomed out pretty young, because when you met me, I was already at that place where I had to do something about my relationship to substances. Right?
You're lucky that it happened early enough that you could turn your life around in that way. And that's the same thing with me. I'm so lucky that early in life I saw what a lightweight that I was. I think you even commented that I was a lightweight. And it just helped save me, because I never went deep into anything.
Yeah, I never saw you abusing.
I drink alcohol maybe twice a year, and I haven't been
drinking. You never would drink.
I haven't been drunk in probably 25 years.
I've never seen you.
Just not my thing.
I haven't seen you high or drunk in the entire time I've known you. Never.
Nobody in my family drinks at all. I think it's hereditary. My mom tells me that my father used to get horrible headaches if he finished even like one cocktail. And it's been my brother, my two nephews, me, my mom. Nobody drinks.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm trying to just cover everything. So where I'm at financially at this point, would you say it's because I my mother squandered all the money, or was the reality is there wasn't that much money, and I was very sick for several years after she died. I couldn't work. And then
that sounds accurate.
And the cost of living in Los Angeles, as we know, is, they say you have to make at least 6 figures to even live in a shit area in Los Angeles.
Unfortunately, it's true.
Right. So for me, it was, I never made enough money to get ahead. It was like I would just make ends meet. That's how it always was. And then thinking that, I've tried to start many businesses, sober coaching business, just things that the special a special company all about was going to be called Recovery Enhancement Services, and for recovery from all things, whatever it is.
I remember that.
Yeah, and I don't know if you know, but I actually met with Chris Lawford, and he was interested in going into business with me, but then I don't know what happened. Then he died very unexpectedly, but I knew him for quite some time. I don't know if you knew that. We weren't close friends, but I mean, I just saw his phone number in my phone. So we were friendly. In any case, so this idea that I squandered the money, do you view me as a person that squanders money?
No, not at all.
Do I take advantage of people? Do I work men for money? Am I a gold digger?
No.
What kind of car did you drive when I met you? And was I not head over heels in love with you and wanted to have your babies? I don't think you were doing all that well at that point in time. I mean, you were young, not off the ground yet, but
Well, I had just gotten back from Japan, so I was trying to get my life going in a whole new area, in a whole new vocation.
Right. Well, you're barely 30 at that point. So,
when I got back from Japan, I was 24.
Yeah, but I didn't meet you until you were 28, 27, 28, 29, 27. No, 28. You'd have been 28.
Okay, 28. Yeah.
I think, yeah. So, just overall, would you just this idea is, have you experienced me, and I want brutal honesty here, as someone that you would deem a pathological liar?
No.
A woman that would steal other women's men?
No.
Have you ever known me to be engaged in a relationship with somebody that was married or in a relationship?
No.
Never happened, right? I mean, I've been engaged to several of the men I was with. Is that not true?
Believe it is true.
Yeah. So we got, I don't want to say all the names, but Mitchell, Noam, Mark. So that's 3 that asked me to marry them. Well, my friend Buzz was going to ask me to marry him, but I was with you, so that didn't happen. But the person that's never been loved, but I've had several men ask me to marry them. Is that true or not true?
True.
Okay.
Except for the never been loved part. That's not true.
Yeah, I mean, my feeling was up until maybe 10 years ago, 10 years ago, there was still a chance there that maybe we might have gotten back together at some point if there, like, it didn't happen, but I'm saying it wasn't a case where you wouldn't have been interested if things had been different. I think maybe there was a chance that maybe it didn't happen, but you didn't view me as a person like, oh, I wouldn't want to be with her.
No.
I mean, and even your friend, your longest term friend, whose name we'll leave out of this, he even didn't believe that we weren't having a thing for years after. Remember how he would, no, you guys are doing it. I know you are. Remember that?
Yeah.
I know you guys are still doing it. I know you are.
Well, there's another one. His ex-sister-in-law, she was always convinced, and you know who I'm talking about. She was always convinced that we were going to end up together.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we had that. I mean, and then when we were together, because we hadn't seen each other in several years, it's just logistics. We took a picture together. I think we look almost as good as we did back then.
Yeah.
I mean, I was that when we did the side by side with those photos from our trip to Tahoe to Truckee, and then the picture of us we took in the mirror at the hotel. Um, I loved that. I thought that was such an awesome picture.
Yeah, I remember we looked at that snap.
Yeah, it was nice. So you spent some time with me. I spend both 2 nights at the hotel? Obviously platonic, we're in separate beds, but did I spend 2 nights at the hotel with you? Or just one? Maybe just one. Not sure. Are you there? Are you there?
Yes, I'm sorry, I was on mute.
Okay.
Yes, I think it was just one.
Okay. But we spent all of our time together pretty much the entire time you were in Arizona, right?
Yes.
Okay. Was I getting loaded? Was I abusing drugs? Did you even see me partaking other than taking one or two puffs off of
No.
a vape because of my nausea issues? Do you view me as a person getting loaded, getting high off this stuff?
No. Not at all.
Okay. So I'm wondering. I mean, I think that covers a lot of it. Have I ever betrayed you?
No.
Uh, I know at one point when I was working at 20th Century Fox, you were having a hard time financially, and I offered to borrow money off my credit cards to give to you. I also offered that to another person at that time, and in fact, did borrow off my credit cards to help a woman I barely knew in AA that was having financial problems. So I'm being that they're saying that
That sounds like you.
I'm such a horrible person. And, like I said, the culmination of all my bad deeds. What bad deeds have you seen me commit?
I'm sorry. Ask the question again.
What bad deeds have you seen me commit?
I think I saw you put ketchup on a hot dog once, which is pretty much unforgivable in my book.
I
But
know.
outside of that, nothing.
Okay. So, I mean, I think we covered most of the bases. It's just like attesting to my character, attesting to whether or not I've been in loving relationships. Oh, would you view me as a sexually uh, a sexually indiscriminate person that's just out there fucking loads of people and having sex all the time, a pervert type?
No, not at all.
I think you will remember that have you ever been in possession of pictures, nude pictures of my body parts?
Pictures of your body parts?
Like my genitalia?
No.
Have I ever given you a nude picture of myself?
No.
But did you one time, and I wish you still had these pictures, take some pictures of me in bathing suits or lingerie or something? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I mean, I probably still have a few in a bathing suit. We went to the beach.
Okay, well, if you can
pool
find it,
party.
I'd love
Okay.
to see that. No, but one time when we were at the house on Sunset Plaza, there was one picture. I was laying on the couch, and I had my legs
Yes,
up,
yes, absolutely. I
and you
remember.
shot it from like the perspective of behind my head, like looking. I don't know. It was a cool picture.
Yes, I remember it. I remember it well.
Yeah, but no nudies, right?
No.
Okay. So I don't think there's really much more to say. Just that obviously you and I have our issues. We have problems talking about what's going on in the world. We have different perspectives. Obviously, you've seen that over the last few years, there was my level of, would you say, my quality of life diminished?
I would say yes.
And then when you were with me, did you witness how the sickness can hit me and then I could definitely like possibly go down? We were walking and you were really concerned and wanted to get
Oh
back
yeah,
to the car
no,
immediately.
we had to take it easy. We definitely had to take it easy.
Yeah.
I was not about to push you into doing anything physical that you weren't up for.
Yeah, but you were
And
shocked.
I also thought you were wearing the wrong shoes too.
Well, we did have fun when you were here. I really did enjoy it. Well, there, because obviously I'm not there anymore. Whatever area I'm in that I, have to be constantly moving because I'm being hunted down for what reason? I don't want anything to do with these people. I've said it time and time again. Hey, so do you know me to be the type of person that would flail a gun about threatening people?
No, I've never seen that happen.
Have you ever even seen me in holding a gun?
A gun?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Am I a big gun enthusiast?
I've never seen anything evidence to that effect.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like guns. I think people should have them, but I don't particularly like them, but I think, whatever. So there was that, the flailing the gun about, the what else? Flailing a gun. Oh, yeah. Would you think that I would ever threaten someone's life? Like to slit their throat?
No.
Try to take people's children away from them?
No.
You could hear him. He laughs because it's ludicrous. That I think highly of CPS as an agency. I mean, I don't know that we've ever talked about that, but I don't. um, so just calling the police on people just to do it.
No.
Hunting people down vindictively. No, you've never seen me do it, have you?
No.
Have you seen plenty of dudes fuck me over?
I've seen a few.
Have I ever gone and done anything to them?
No.
Stalked them? And
No.
would you consider me a salacious woman?
Salacious is not even a word.
Yeah, it is salacious.
Salacious?
Salacious. That's it.
Whatever that word is and whatever it means, I would have to say no.
That's brilliant. That's a great way to end it. But just at the end, one of the nights you and I go out. It was one of our last nights together. You took me out for a wonderful dinner, and it was at a restaurant called Coconuts, which is really delish. And
We sat outside, yes.
right. And so what kind of so that was really reflective, I believe, of both your character and mine. How when we are out in the world, how we do connect with people, and we just want to share that kindness and love and connection with people. I
Yeah,
really
those two families that were out together they sat in the next table over.
and
They were with their babies. They were young,
very young, like early 20s.
bright, good looking, nice people.
And the babies were really close in age, and they're actually cousins because it was like a sister and brother and whatever, however. And do you remember how the babies, how they were staring? Those babies, they both had the same expression. They had this really suspicious look on their faces. And they both, one had especially a lot of hair, and I think was a ginger. I think that was a ginger because I think they had Scottish or Irish. But in any case, one guy was new dentist, and he gave me his number,
Right.
and they were really open, and even seemed like they wanted to stay in touch. Or yeah, give me a call, let me know what's going on, if I can help you with what's going on with your dentistry needs or whatever. Like it was a really sweet interaction, and I think that is really
It was nice
reflective.
to hang out with people like that.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
And we've had a lot of those experiences. We've also had times when one time you took me to a concert in Hollywood. I don't know what it was, but we were sitting in the lobby and we were just laughing our asses off.
I remember it. It was
Oh
at
my
the
God.
it was at Fonda.
Oh my God. I can't say what we were laughing about because it's very politically incorrect. But
Yes, I remember. I remember it. I remember it.
oh, dude, that was hilarious. And how many times have we laughed until we've cried?
Yes, that was our MO for sure.
And is that really more what I'm about? Like laughter, being silly, doing crazy silly shit to make people laugh. Have I not always been that way?
Always.
And we have laughed hard because of the ridiculousness of the shit that I remember when we
Well,
were.
that was, my friend's daughter, who we talked about earlier.
Mhm.
That was always the thing that you had with those two girls, for sure.
Just the silliness, right? To make
The
them,
laughing, yes, all
yeah,
of that.
making them laugh. That's why they like me because I'm on their level, and I do. But there's one thing, and I've confessed because when I was the nanny and I taught those kids this song, "Happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary." Marty Farty had a party and all his friends.
Yes.
Okay, I taught that to the kid. You know the Marty Farty and Let Us Stinky and they all went out for air. I taught that to the kids because I learned it when I was really little and I thought it was hilarious. They loved it and were laughing their behinds off. The next time I went there, they tell me, "Mommy's not happy that you taught us that song." So that would be one of the worst things I've ever done is I taught a kid a song that their parents did not find acceptable that I learned when I was that age and it was hilarious. So, that's my big injury I've done, teaching a song to make them laugh, That's about as bad as it gets.
Pretty
Um,
much, yeah.
yeah. So, lots of laughs we've had. I want to thank you for being such a good friend, patient, tolerant, loving, understanding, generous to a fault, um, regardless of the
Well,
fact.
thanks. You're all of those things too.
Thank you. I know both my parents really, really loved you. My mom especially, you know that.
Yeah, I like your mom too. She's sweet.
So, um, just generally, I came from hardworking people that were very successful, who slowly lost everything. The reason there was nothing left was because the system's designed. If you have medical issues, there are caps on your insurance. And eventually, if those costs get too high, you become responsible. And it bankrupts many, many people. And that is what happened. That's why there was no transfer of wealth. Uh, the housing market, the crashing of the stock market many times, the Reaganomics of the 80s, which took all manufacturing overseas, and only the big companies that could handle large orders could really compete in that market. Um, and so, and then, as you know, my father was working until he died, right up until he ends up in the
Yes,
hospital
he
almost dead.
was. It's true.
He, do you know what he, just to, because they say I lie, do you know what he was doing at the end of his life?
Yes, I do.
What was that?
He was working on a train.
And do you know what the assignment was? That last assignment was?
He was like a valet or butler.
Well, he was a train attendee, a train car attendant. But
Right.
he did the whole thing. He did a lot of really funny stuff there about how he would try to bring everyone together in his car, and I want us all to be thinking of each other as family. Let's make this a great trip. Let's all be kind to each other. That's how he was, right? And he was a pain in the ass, but he was always trying to ascribe to a higher level of having people come together.
Right.
And his assignment was he literally uh, he was going back and forth to Chicago. That was his assignment. I think it was once a month. And he literally stood on his feet for 18 hours after having the cancer. And then when it went to the first it's not remission, but it was reduced, and so it wasn't furthering at that point. But they always said it would come back, and there was really no long term remission for it. But he would not sit down. He would not take a break. He was a very principled dude, had a very strong work ethic. And
I would say that describes him
right.
pretty perfectly.
And then lastly, would you say my dad was a greedy person?
Yeah.
Or my mother even?
You know, I remember I got together with him in New York.
I know.
And he took me to a Broadway show and to like a really fine restaurant I never thought I would ever go to.
That's so cool. Do you know what restaurant he took you to?
Yeah.
What was it?
The Russian Tea Room.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it was the Russian Tea Room. Well, you know his mother was Russian, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, I want to let you go now. You've given me a lot of your time, and I know you have something to do. I love you and adore you, regardless of the fact that we have our differences about things. Like I've told you, I don't want those things to ever get in the way of this long-term love and friendship we've had. And
well, they don't get it.
Yeah, but I just don't like that those things happen. But it's not like you and I. Well, we've had our moments, but we've also, like, I tell the story about how we'd want to go to the movies, and I always wanted you to come to Century City because I like the popcorn. You wanted me to come to where I could see the film in the best possible way, but all I cared about was the popcorn, and it used to drive you insane. Remember what I would do with the popcorn? Then even when we would go to that theater that you like in Hollywood, whatever I would go through is like I needed the freshly popped and the whole 9 yards.
Yes, I remember well. You were picking out each kernel individually.
And then I would call it the trough. Like we'd get a huge thing of popcorn,
yes,
and then
yes,
one person would have the bigger, and I'd have the.
I remember.
We've had so many amazing, funny times together, and I hope that we continue to do that for many more years to come. And so I send you a big hug, big kiss, and obviously send my regards to your friend that's not well, and that I'm praying for him and his family. Okay, okay, my love, love you so much.
Thank you, love you too.
Thank you so much.
I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, good. All right, bye. Okay. All right, now I'm gonna go public. Check this out. Politically incorrect.
Yes, I remember it.
Oh, dude, that was hilarious. And how many times have we laughed until we cried? All right. So there you go. The public. Okay, I've got to. Okay. So where I want to go with this, which is cover. Okay. Save. Customization. Customization. Done. Done. All right. Everything's all set up. Probably not going to be staying on that much longer here. I recorded it on unlisted just to make sure that things went smoothly. And then I put it on public. And in fact, it was better to do it that way because I didn't need hold on, he's messaging me. Yeah, so the good thing about that is that there wouldn't be any interruption or distractional stuff with the chat. So that's that. I'm just going to wait a little bit, see if anybody comes in, and go from there. And give my wrap up and then finish playing the other video. Let me get the other video. I want it to load some more. Okay, so that's loading. And why don't we play a quick tune? Now, the following artist that I'm going to be playing would like his music played. It's never blocked. But you have to block it so that he can't have income? For what reason? Because somebody's trashing you over here? No one's talking about you. No one wants to talk about you. No one wants your attention. I don't want anything to do with you. Okay. So we're going to get a song. We'll do this cover good because these people this is how they make income. How dare you try to prevent, maybe not the major artists, fine. They block it if they don't want it played. But you have to handle that for them, right? Song, hold on. Let's see. Um, Can't see that at all. Okay. Trying to see like all of the person's these are their channel. That's the better way to go. So oh, this is a good one. It's kind of appropriate. I haven't heard this one. I have to let it level a little bit. Let me come back, see if anyone's in the chat. Nope, no one in the chat. All right. I don't even know if the alert went out. Okay. Let's see. Okay, it looks like the notification went out. So the notification went out, and I'm gonna give it a minute. Let's see if this is loaded yet. Still loading. I need a couple seconds more. Unable to send. Why is it unable to send? Unable to send. Hmm? Test, test. Test, test. That would be one of the worst things I've ever done. Talking about one of the worst things I've ever done. Okay. This is almost loaded. Okay. Here we go. Collusion. That's your legal word for the day. Collusion. Collusion. I will read you the direct meaning when I return. I'm gonna make a change for once in my life. It's gonna feel real good. It's gonna make a difference. Gonna make it right. As I turn up the collar on my favorite winter coat, this wind is blowing my mind. I see the kids on the street without enough to eat. Who am I to be blind, pretending not to see their need? A summer's this we got, a broken bottle top, and a one-man soul. They follow each other on the wind, you know, 'cause they got nowhere to go. That's why I want you to know I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. And no message could have been any clearer. If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change. Na 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 na. Oh, I've
been a victim of a selfish kind of love. It's time that I realize that there's some with no home, not a nickel too long. Could it be really me pretending that they're not alone? A widow deep inside somebody's broken heart and a washed out dream. They follow the pattern of the wind you see, 'cause they got no place to be. That's why I'm starting with me. I'm starting with the man in the middle. I'm asking him to change his ways. And no message could have been any clearer. If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. And no message could have been any clearer. If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make that change. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. And no message could have been any clearer. If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make that change. Na 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 na. It's gonna look good, yeah, 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 yeah.
I don't like when they do that. When they tack music on the end. So since we have these lovely people wanting to strike my channel, we're going to only be able to play covers, which they really shouldn't be able to do it on covers. I'm just trying to see what else. Well, I sort of want to preserve the integrity of this stream because I don't want to load it up with anything that could perhaps make it get it taken down or blocked or something. So it's probably going to get blocked off the first song. But it does block it and I can cut it out, so it's not a problem. I guess I'll finish playing what I was playing earlier, since I said I was going to. It has payment for your services of trolling people. She's saying I. She is. And again, we wouldn't be doing this if we just went away and stopped lying about me. But I don't know what I played it to. This may be repeating something already, but again, it has to load. And here's the weird thing, and I'd love other people's input. So I load things up, right? But then sometimes when you pull the thing back, start playing it, it removes the entire that you've loaded it. Why would it do that? Doesn't make any sense to me. So that, and that has to load. Somebody left me a message. Hold on, I'm trying to see what this person just left a message, because I'm getting trolled by these truckers again, saying that I had sex with JT Trucker, and I never even met the guy. I don't understand. "5 days ago, I left a comment 9 hours ago under JF. It's JF Trucker. I said, why do people keep saying I hooked up with you? What in the actual F? Are you involved? Tell your friends to leave me alone. To which Logic Neo said, they love you, and I believe music is what you and I love. All right. Whatever. TC Boggs is a suicide troll. Yeah, I said it. You are. Why do you have to jump on a woman that's not well? Why are you supporting everybody that's been attacking me? Oh, people just come out of nowhere like you. Nah, that's not how it goes. It's not accurate. So yeah, I'm gonna spend a few more minutes here and I'm gonna go. But I was gonna finish playing what I said earlier. But I don't even know if there's any reason to. So I just completed an interview with my friend Lon, and yeah, he doesn't have a great memory. He's older than I am. And so to say to him, well, tell the story, he doesn't remember things even as well as I do. So I did have to say, well, remember this, remember that, or okay, what's your experience with me on this? What do you think about these statements that have been made, etc. To which most of the allegations, he literally laughed at it. Because he knows I'm not, but you people know me better than he does. We went to the same high school at much different times because he graduated in 73. But we have just similar. We have a lot of similar kind of experiences because we grew up in the same area. So, and he grew up in Beverly Hills, and for a period I went to Beverly High, but I didn't live in Beverly Hills all that long. Mostly in Cheviot Hills. So basically, we don't run in crowds of lowlifes, okay? Now, that's not to say if you don't live in Beverly Hills, you're a lowlife. No, it has nothing to do with that. It means we aren't hanging out with criminals and lowlifes because we just don't resonate with those types of people. I find people like that dangerous. I don't want to be around people that I find to be dangerous that I can't trust. I don't fraternize. Fortunately, I didn't fraternize with, drug dealers and gangs and stuff because I didn't. I got pharmaceutical cocaine from an old pervert pedophile. Basically, that's how I got the cocaine that made me hit my bottom. Which I say thank you for letting me hit my bottom so solidly to know that I can never use and drink safely, and I never want to. And please keep me sober, and thank you for keeping me sober and clean always. What I would like is to get back to in-person meetings and have the health and strength to go back to my in-person meetings again that I miss. That's what I would like. Still loading. I have to let it load. A little bit more. Okay. So as we know, this is a channel that has no subs on it at all. 33. I've been asked at 33. That's interesting. I've been trying to let people know for a while that you have to be subbed to my backup channels because these people are trying to silence me and take my channels down. Now, do you think that's right? if I'm saying I don't want to talk about you, I don't want anything to do with you, I don't want the drama, this is not drama. I'm being attacked, okay? I don't want any part of it. You people with your finger pointing and blaming. It's not nice. It's not nice. Okay? It's not nice. She's a lovely lady. Lovely, 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 lovely. Oh, really? She fucking... She was a slam video maker. That's what she used to do. She used to fucking make slam videos on Betty. Now it looks like they were working together, and the whole fucking thing was a lark. Oh, Betty, I'm not doing anything. Oh, Betty, don't hurt me, Betty. Don't dox me, Betty. But what was she's attacking someone that she called her friend? But Betty wasn't her friend ever, but she doesn't want Betty to think anything that she would ever say anything bad about Betty while she runs around lying about me. You're a weird one, Mrs. Grinch. You are. Shit talker. Liar. No, but hurt. Because you wanted to keep lying about me. If I busted out. You too were having an extramarital involvement, weren't you? Ooh, she gonna be mad. She don't like it when people talk about her scandalous fucking behavior. Were you flicking your bean too? Sounds like a lot of you lovely ladies like to get down and dirty with the sex over the phone with or whatever with people you don't know. You're a strange one, Mr. Grinch. Oh, but I'm mad. I'm colluding. I'm madly colluding. I'm colluding madly. I'm a colluder. Do you hear yourself? Okie dokie. Anybody here? I don't listen. Nobody even knows about this channel for the most part, so. Plus, I'll tell you, if you don't make a point of putting a notification bell on, it won't be on, and you won't get notified. And if you have a channel that you follow, you actually have to check to make sure the bell's on almost daily, because YouTube will turn it off if it's a person they're trying to silence and shadow ban, like me. Why YouTube wants to shadow ban me, shadow box me, but then I'm a muffin, apparently. Not a muffin, no muffin top either, by the way. Stomach's almost completely flat again. Should be rocking a bathing suit again soon. If anybody would like a copy of the picture, let me know. Joking. I'm joking. 2 a.m. in jolly old England. A lot of my people I like, they're over there. So when I'm on, it's like middle of the night for them. It's not ideal. For me, the good news is that I found some very cool people. So even if you were to take my channel down and keep trying to take my channel down, I still have people I can go and I can hang out with them. And to be away from you is exactly what I want anyway. So if that's what happens, that I end up on a channel and I just make everyone aware of it, and you people don't know, but eventually you'll find out, I'm sure, because if you go so far as to Google Earth where I was living, I mean, what lengths do you go to try and terrorize me? That's what I'm wondering. In touch with the police, letting them know that I'm fine. They're getting a letter from a doctor. Hello? Hey, you. Mhm. Okay. Okay, I'll do it I'll do it as soon as I can. Just you do it first. Do it first, okay? Because that's the main thing. Perfect. Okay, good. Okay, bye. That was my friend saying that if I'm concerned about people rating people's Facebooks, that he said unfriend me on Facebook. So that's what you people are doing to me. That I can't even be in touch with my friends. I don't go on there, so it's not a big deal to me. But it's still pretty shitty the way they try to isolate people, and this is what happens. And that's why people have gone off the edge and killed themselves because you become so fucking distraught. You feel you can't get away from this evil that won't stop. It's a really bizarre reality. And I know how those people felt right before they took their lives because it's very, very brutal. Brutal. Especially if you're a vulnerable person. And anyone that's been bullied to suicide was vulnerable at some point, and whoever was doing it didn't care. And there are many, 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 many people dead. So this could affect anybody's family, and if you don't want it to happen to your family, you better stand up against it. Again, me molar. But I think I'm going to go now because I'm tired and I've been on, I think, 20 minutes. Oh, I'm going to play that thing. Right? Okay, let's play that and get it over with. I'm not going to share this. Okay, I'll share the screen. I don't know how this is going to work. But I'm going to have to do a sound check to make sure. I think you'll be able to hear it. We'll see. Can't run it fast because it'll catch up too fast. I do believe that he's behind a lot of this. He said at one point he would throw $7,000 at an attorney to sue me because they have no case. Of course, he'd have to get an attorney. But I guess he had $7,000 to burn to get people, and I had him bribing somebody with white crosses and channel with 5,000 subs and vapes and I got more money than the boss man. And basically, if you're not going to help me do it, I'll just do it myself. And it was all about going after people, destroying their lives, ruining their lives, and throwing them in the street. And what I proved is I was the only one they were attacking. So I was who they were referring to. They tried to lie and said I have property in Miami, that I was a porn star, that I'm a failed actress. I mean, throw whatever you can at the wall and make it stick. Oh, I'm abusing my animals. My house is going to vomit. I mean, I'm going to be a blood sacrifice for the high priestess Tiffany, because of her friend Daniel. I mean, you think that she didn't put him up to that? Of course she did. What you did, bitch? Make a video, I'm a hoarder and shit. We'll be talking to my friend soon. We'll see about my hoarding. Now, he will, in his view though, everybody has too much stuff. I don't think he would view me as a hoarder. but he has been trying to achieve a minimalistic lifestyle for a long time, and he's been encouraging me to do so, and I have tried. When you live in very small spaces where there's no way to put anything away, like an RV, okay? So, did you identify where my RV is? My new location? Have you somehow identified my location in order to dox me again? And now you're gonna make fun because I can't afford to live anywhere but in a broken down RV. Is that gonna be the next thing you're gonna make fun about? Have at it, because you're such decent people. And this guy we're gonna be talking to, he's not into trannies. He's a full heterosexual male. Promise you. So that's my dilemma, is I don't like to bother people. I had asked my friend Bodie in the past if I could interview him. He said he wasn't really into it. I'm going to venture to guess he probably doesn't want to do it. He may go as far as to send me a text message, but then you people could dispute that it's really him. You'll say, I'm sending myself a message. That doesn't work. You'll say Ron is lying. You'll say I coached Ron. You say I scripted it. You'll say all of that shit. That's why this is relatively pointless. But for the people that are just getting to know me, perhaps they would like to hear some character reference, since you keep trashing and lying about me, and you've created doubt in people's mind, perhaps, because some people have gone away and you were obsessively tagging them in videos about me, where you're lying about me. And for people that don't do their due diligence and believe that crap, would you like it if someone did that to you? I know a lot of you claim to be Jesus followers. Would you like it if somebody did that to you? Okay. Last song about that.
Let me make sure that the sound's working, not doubled up. Let me make sure that the
I need more stuff. I don't failed actress. I mean, throw whatever you can at the wall. Like it's my animals have some comment. I mean, I didn't sacrifice for my positivity. I mean, you think she didn't win my thing? Or she did? No. He will, because me though. Everybody has too much stuff. I think he is a hoarder, but he has been trying to achieve minimalist lifestyle.
I have to make sure it's working. 1 minute.
When you live in very small.
Hold on 1 minute more. Okay, let's continue. It's not great sound quality, but
This is highly accurate about you people, isn't it?
Breathing in, moving lips, sparks fly from the fingertips. Echo voices in the night. She's a restless spirit on an endless flight. See how high she flies. She got the moon in her in the night, it's the shadows follow the light. Crazy laughter in another room. And she drove herself to madness, sailed to school. See how high she flies. She got the moon in her I know you want to love. Let me tell you, brother, she's been sleeping in the devil's bed. There's some rumors going around. Someone's on the ground. She can rock you in the night until your future is red. Ooh, yeah, woman, see how high she flies. Ooh, yeah, woman, she got the moon in her eye.
Awesome sauce. Yes. Except for the sound quality is awful. Sorry. So we'll see if this stays up because those are two blockers. May yeah, yes, what? Right, God. All the helpers and the reason now in the case of these people, you don't really want to line their pockets because they've made plenty of money with sellouts. They do block. So what you don't understand about your copyrighted music issue is that there are artists that want your music played. The ones that don't, they will block me at the end. They don't need you to false flag it because you have a problem with it. The other artists that you're preventing me from playing, they make money off of it. They are smaller artists. Some of them are just cover artists. Many of these people have not been able to tour, which is the way they make money. Why do you have to deprive them from some income? I'm not making money. They do. And they deserve to. So why do you have to stop that? Because my shitty little village, I learned no copyrighted music and I'm crying, I'm raging. I'm raging. I'm not raging. Dumb what? Dumb fuckwad. I'm not raging. I have a right to be angry. You will not stop harassing me and then claiming you're the victim. Then telling me because I have quote unquote mental health issues to get offline. You got mental health issues. I don't. You have a personality disorder. I don't. I'm depressed because I couldn't work after working 45 years. I'm depressed because I can barely keep a roof over my head. I have panic anxiety and PTSD because of these things and being attacked for 5 years online. If you want me silenced, because I know what a dirty bitch you are. Oops. You're not going to silence me. I promise you that. I promise you. So what have I lost? A bunch of people that don't come to support me, or a bunch of people that are just trolls attacking me? I know that most of the trolls are already subscribed or are minimally subscribed to these 2 channels, and I have other channels that have like 1 sub. So it's going to be kind of dancing around in a circle because they're threatening to take down all my channels. Okay, so I'm going to have to do a dance. I have to go from channel to channel to channel to channel, and I'm going to have to send out private links to people. And a lot of people don't like to click on links. So see, this is another way where they deprive me of connecting with the people I want to connect with. And I'll say it again. I do not instigate anything with you. I respond to your lies. Okay? Because you don't let someone sit and lie about you, do you? No, you don't. When somebody else wants to defend themselves against lies, although that's not allowed, because you're allowed to lie about everybody. Is that how it goes? Well, eventually all the people you've attacked, they will find their way to me. And eventually they will tell their stories so that we can see it's not just me, and it's not just Wyatt, and it's not just Jamie, and it's not just Captain Stinka, and it's not just Yaxley, and it's not, you have attacked so many fucking people, and you've lied out of your ass. Tracy, Trollop, all those people you've attacked. And I'm not defending anybody. I'm just stating, I've seen you attack multiple people. You drama hoe. You're the drama hoe. You projected everything you said about me, and then you took your video down. Coward. Because you don't want to copyright when you're slandering somebody, lying about them, saying that they threatened to slit your throat, and then your friend Lisa saying I'm an international terrorist because I threatened to slit your throat, but it never happened. And I am going to work on getting your police about the fact that I don't know. We're going to see what we can do. That's it. You've harassed a lot of fucking people, and some of them are in your country. And I have people in your country. I don't know whether or not they'd be willing to look into filing some kind of report for me. And I'm certainly not going to pressure anyone to do anything. So if anybody's willing that live in that country, in England, to assist me in getting a report to her local police, I would really appreciate that. She was threatening to call the police just because I was mirroring her slander and attacks and harassment and bullying, showing what an evil person you are. You're a phony, you're a fake, you're a fraud. You're never going to silence me. Have a great rest of your day. See you later. So that should do it. Have a great evening. If you are whatever, if you come through and you're a friend, leave a comment so I know that you found the channel. And I thank you again for your patience, love, and tolerance. Have a wonderful evening. Oh, lastly, I'm not suicidal, I'm not homicidal. I don't have a vendetta. I have no interest in anything to do with any of you. Nor do I have any interest to collude with anyone, and I'm not. Do I want to have legal action? Do I want to file restraining orders? No, I don't. But what you show consistently is you won't stop. In the face of that, you keep doubling down. So you leave me no choice, and I will be granted uh, that order of protection. Yeah, I will. All I have to show is you promoting her channel, and that video is maliciously doxing me. And you think you have a leg to stand on legally? Go talk to your lawyer about it. No, you don't. That's why you don't file on me, because you're going to be fucked if it goes in that direction. So, have a great night.